Colby, don't make me do it.
Oh, what's that, Barry?
Don't make me throw this hummus. It's spicy. I feel like somebody will get that one.
Yeah, that was such a good line.
What's going on, guys? My name is Barry.
This is Colby.
And this is Who Watches This. Welcome to a very special Spook-Tober Halloween episode. Ooh.
Yeah, we've got to wrap the month up in style.
And you know, we really, I did a good job. It's funny though, I've never seen this movie. I was like, maybe Colby's seen it, because, you know, during that time, you know, what's it called, your daughter was pretty around that age.
Right, yep.
To, like, be really into this, and I don't know why I didn't watch this. I was like, it's right up my alley, you know, and I was like, I just never got around to it.
I've seen it once, like, just recently after it came out, and man, I there was a whole lot of it I didn't remember when I was rewatching it.
Yeah, so I was like, oh man, I want to pick one that's like, it's popular, but it's like kind of still like underrated.
Yeah.
And I kind of feel like this is like right in that category. So, and I was like, claymation is amazing. That's what it is, right?
It is.
Yeah, it's claymation, you know, and I'm like...
Yeah, this kind of movie takes forever to make.
Right?
Like, yeah, I was reading, like, the little, like, facts about the movie. There's we haven't even got to the movie yet, so we won't go there yet.
But, yeah, you know, we'll get to it right now when I Mr. Movie Phone this bitch. 1 second. All right. There's a town in what I could only speculate as the Atlantic Northwest, maybe, where a legend resides of a witch's curse. But in the 300th year, the seal is broken. There's only one man, nay, one boy, who can stop it. Let's find out in 2012's ParaNorman. That's right. I put a little extra sauce on that one.
Yeah, you did.
And I figured, I was like, I should really start writing these right after I watch the movie. So like the movie's like pretty fresh, you know, get a little sense of the movie tone and put it in there, you know.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, we're gonna be talking about the 2012 Focus film, I believe, claymation movie ParaNorman, starring Anna Kendrick. That's all that matters. John Goodman is in there. There's what's it called? This cast is like actually pretty stacked. Leslie Mann is in here.
Christopher Mintz,
which is like our main character. Oh no, that's Alvin.
Right? Isn't that why can't they?
Yeah, he's freaking McLovin.
McLovin. Yeah.
We got Casey Affleck. Main character is Cody Smith McPhee, which I do remember in things. He has like a really distinct high fashion face.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And freaking, I gotta say, like, you know, she's kind of like a horror icon at this point, like a low key one. But Jodelle Ferland. You know, she was in Cabin in the Woods. She was in Silent Hill. She has a couple of like little Canadian indie horror films out there. She was also what's it called? In freaking God, there was like a sci-fi show on Sci-Fi. I forgot what it was. What? And she's also a past actor from a past episode, The Tidelands.
Oh, totally. Yes.
Yeah.
Dark.
Yeah, dark hair.
But the Sci-Fi Channel show was
Oh god, yeah, I forgot what I know her name was like 5 in there, and it was like they're all named after numbers. Oh
Right.
gosh,
Yeah.
I really like that show too. I watched that show till the end. So, but yeah, like really stat
Dark
cat.
Matter.
Dark
Dark
Matter.
Matter. I had to
There
look
you
it
go.
up.
Yeah, what's it called? The girl in there is like in The Rookie with freaking Nathan Fillion.
Mm.
She's like one of the actresses on there. She's hot. They're both hot. Jodelle, I've had a crush on her for like a while. She was also like in an episode of Supernatural. So yeah, like really, really pretty decent cast in here. Kind of earlier ish in their career, as far as like it was 2012. So Anna Kendrick was like coming off of like things like Twilight.
Right.
And I mean,
Right.
Anna Kendrick's been busy since she was a kid, but like Pitch Perfect, I feel like it was like her shot to like mega stardom.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
And plus, I've also had a huge crush on Anna Kendrick for a long time too. But yeah, no, man, I was like, I'm super like upset at myself that I've never seen this movie, and I was like, I watched Coraline when it came out.
Right. I feel like the commercials for this made this seem kiddier than it
Yeah, then it
it
actually
was, and then it comes across with like an actual like real story, like a kind of a deep story.
And but here, let's go ahead and get into this movie before we actually, spoil or just give our thoughts on it. But the movie opens up with with a movie that probably me and Colby would have watched if it was real, a low budget zombie flick. I gotta say I love the comedic timing of this movie as well. But and it's just like, what are we? It's like I was like, for a second, I was like, this has to be the right movie because it's in claymation, but it's like it's 16 by whatever the old television,
like old
were.
reel to reel kind of, yeah,
like 8mm,
scratchy, film.
But no, it's a kid and he's watching this horror film with his grandmother. We get introduced to Norman, like really kind of like a funny, just like a classic relationship between a grandson and a grandma.
Right, where the kid's obsessed with horror movies and the grandma doesn't get them.
Yeah, she's like, I don't understand it. But like the parents call him like, hey, take out the trash, and he goes to do it. We get introduced to his family and his sister Courtney.
Yep.
Sister Courtney is built like a Kardashian in this movie. I was like, oh wow, 2012, okay. But like when Norman comes back,
before butts were all the rage.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're climbing up there. But Norman comes in and he's like, hey, can you, like, grandma like ask like, hey, can you turn up the heat? It's cold in here. My feet are cold.
Yeah.
So Norman comes in and he's like, hey, can we turn up the heat? Grandma's feet is cold. And the dad is like, oh, geez, again with this. Your grandma's not in there, Norman. She's dead.
Yeah, we know how close you were with her before she passed, but she's gone.
Yeah, and I was like,
gotta let it go.
But I was like, I was kind of like surprised. I was like,
yeah,
like a good way to introduce like Norman's little abilities of him being able to see ghosts. And so like, yeah, like, the dad is kind of like fed up with it. He's like, our kid is weird. I hate that like everyone thinks he's weird because he's being weird. Mom is a little bit more sympathetic, and he's like, how close they were, and maybe this is just his way of coping with her passing. Well, no, he needs to man up, Stop being a fucking weirdo. If this was back in high school, I would have stuffed him in the locker.
Right, exactly.
It doesn't say that, but it's basically kind of like the attitude he's given, right?
Yeah.
But Norman's like bedroom is super zombied out, horror movied out. He's us. Well, minus the ghost thing, but he's pretty much us. I gotta also say I love the horror movie references in this movie.
Yeah.
But no, Norman gets ready for school, and as he's walking to school, he's like greeting everybody. But then like we see it from like a normal person's perspective. We don't see like it doesn't start the movie at like, oh, look at all this ghosts he sees. No, you see like this kid who's walking on these empty streets saying hi to all these people. And you're
Yeah.
like, oh, I know
People
ghosts.
who aren't there. Yeah.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden, a real person walks by him, and he's like, "What the hell?" And then we finally get to see what Norman is seeing.
Yeah.
And it's just like a whole bunch of like just different ghosts.
Right, like all the ghosts who haven't
Moved
found the
on.
light. Yeah.
Yeah, and
And it looks like it's all like different generations too. There's like colonial,
Civil War-ish type of dudes, and there's like hippies and stuff. So yeah, it's like fun, a fun little introduction until we get to school where he's like, now he looks like super depressed because he's at school.
Yeah.
And when he gets to his locker, someone puts like freak on it, and then there's like another kid with fatty on there.
Right, the little short, chubby, red-haired kid.
Yeah, and they're wiping it off, but we get introduced to Alvin, who is his bully, classic bully guy. Honestly, I never really get bullying. I was just like, why waste the energy? But there's a lot of underlying situations. Hurt people situations. It's very much Flash Thompson in the spectacular Spider-Man with Andrew Garfield.
Right. Yeah.
Remember when his like when Uncle Ben died, and then he kind of pushes Peter, not like pushes him, but he like bugs him, and then Peter pushes him up against the locker, and he's like, "Feels good, doesn't it?" I'm sorry about your uncle. He's trying to like relate to him.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So I get bullying, but like still, you know what I mean. But no, we learned that the kids are doing a play on the what's it called? Their history.
Right, the history of the town.
And one of the teachers is a true thespian. Super passionate, like lady, and she's like, "Come on, guys! I can't believe I'm trying to direct this film, and there's no passion."
And in town has a very like kind of Salem witch trial-y kind of
feel to it. I mean, like this lore that they have, right, is very much ingrained into this town. So it's probably like if this is a real town, it would definitely be on like top 10 places in America to spend Halloween.
Right. Make sure you stop on your next road trip. The haunted town.
Yeah, the haunted town of
drive through and park your RV at.
Visit Maylas. That's Salem backwards. But yeah, no, we get kind of like a exposition dump with all this. Like like one of the girls in there, she's like, "Oh, why are we doing this? There's really no proof that this girl is a witch. These pilgrims were just fucking assholes." Kind of situation, right? Oh man, but Norman starts to kind of have like a little mini freak out. He starts to see the town, like the auditorium, kind of burn away.
Yeah, much more than just like the ghosts that he's been seeing. Now it's like full on.
Yeah, so we get like a little freaked out, and like what we remember is like when at the beginning of the movie, when the dad was kind of talking to the mom, he's like, "This is your side of the family's fucking problem or reason why he's so weird. Your fucking uncle is a weirdo too. He's the town weirdo."
Yep.
And this uncle has been following Norman. And so like when school kind of gets out, the fat kid Neil kind of tries to talk to Norman. He's like, "Hey man, like want to be friends?" And Norman's kind of like, you can tell Norman has kind of gone through it. No kid wants to be alone.
Right. Yeah.
But he's been labeled a freak, so he's just like, he'd rather just be alone and know that way, people can't disappoint him, right?
And in a weird way, he's got friends that are just on the other side, but they're happy to talk to him because all the regular people can't see them or hear them.
Exactly, but that's never good, right?
Right.
I read enough fiction where like if you can go visit like the dead, sometimes you don't come back.
Right. Yeah.
And so, but they get accosted by Mr. Pendergast, who's Norman's uncle, and he's like, "You must read from the book, boy." And he's like, "Oh no, my dad said I can't hang out with you." And Neil kind of he defends him. He's like, "Hey, I'm gonna throw this hummus at you. It's real spicy."
Yeah.
And Mr. Pendergrass is very like afraid of the spicy hummus.
And Norman gets it a little bit because he's like I know what you see. I see it too. But like
he looks super homeless.
But yeah, he looks like the crazy fentanyl junkie.
Yeah, exactly. So like Neil's like, "Hey, can you come to my house? My dog died. My dog that we rescued died by an animal rescue vehicle. Sad and ironic." And so yeah, he kind of drags Norman there. He introduces to the brother Mitch. Mitch is kind of like hesitant about his little brother hanging out with the town weirdo.
Right. Yeah.
He's like not an asshole, but it's an asshole-y type of thing to do it in front of his face. But Norman sees the dog and like, Neil's like, "Oh, cool." And the dog is like in half. He's like those slinky dogs without the slinky. But they have like a decent time. They have a decent time, and
and there's always some jokes where he's like, "Oh, my dog's right here," and he's like, "Yeah, go ahead and pet him." He's like, "Oh, you're petting the wrong end."
He's like, "Yeah," and so next, what's it called? Mr. Pendergrass, Norman's uncle, goes back home, and he's like, "I must get him to read from the book and continue the tradition." But then he like, I think he has an aneurysm. And like it's funny too, because for a second his soul starts to like go out of his body, and he like, he pops back into his body, and then he just dies again. And so the next day, I think it was like not the next day, but maybe it's like the day of the play.
Yeah.
Right. They're doing the play. The whole auditorium is filled with like camcorders. His dad is like, "Oh, no, man, the battery's not working. Damn it, I'm not going to be able to have this video of my kid acting normal for once." The play is going by okay, but then Norman sees something, and he fucking freaks out. Oh, well, he goes back into the past.
Yeah.
A little bit, and he starts getting chased by some pilgrims. And yeah, and then he fucking like all the pilgrims are like, "The dead will rise."
And I'm like a real brave kid because he's faced with ghosts all day long and he has no fear of them. But when this is something out of the ordinary that's like definitely spooking him.
Yeah, it's brand new because he got brought back into like some sort of genjutsu illusion. And so like Dad is super pissed. He's like, "It's one thing to be fucking weird in front of your family, but to be weird in front of the whole town, oh my God." Super pissed.
Yeah, Dad is.
And so like the next day at school, he goes into like the bathroom, kind of just like wants to be away from everybody. The bully is in there sketching like that fucking S that we all used to draw when we were kids. But Mr. Pendergrass,
that was everybody did like pre-internet. Everybody's at that age still drew that same S.
Yeah,
I don't know.
But Mr. Pendergrass comes in like through the toilets, starts haunting him a little bit, and he's like, "You must read from the book, boy. You must keep the witches sealed." And he's like, "Oh my God, fine. If I promise I'll do, will you go away?" And he's like, Yes, I will." And he starts to go into the light.
And, well, he's like, "You gotta take the book out of my hand." And he's like,
my dead hands.
No, not these hands. My other hands.
The one that stinks. It's starting to stink. So yeah, go over there. And then he goes into the light. The bully kind of hears it. He puts his ear to it, and then the door bursts open, slams him against the urinals. And Norman's like, bye.
Oh, here, from the very beginning, where like that scene, the bathroom scene, was done by a single animator, and it took a full year to do the entire scene.
Holy shit.
Talking about how long and
they only got one person to do it.
Well, they had like different animators doing different parts,
scenes. Okay,
but that was like one of the longest scenes it took.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's insane if just one person did this whole movie. But yeah, and so like, if I was Alvin, right? If I was the bully, I would have been like, oh shit, maybe ghosts are real, because there's no way Norman, who's like 80 pounds at most if he was a real kid, fucking blew the hinges off of this bathroom door and slammed me into the urinals. But no, like, so the day kind of like goes by, and when he gets home, he's like wondering what to do, and all of a sudden, like, something kind of starts tapping at his window, and it's Neil in the Jason mask. And it's like, it's the scene from fucking the first Halloween, you know? I was like, oh, that's so good, man. I actually really love that. But like, Norman's like, Neil, go home. Like, I got a lot of shit on my mind right now. And he's like, oh, come on, man. Like, you know, and he's like, Neil, I have to go to my dead uncle's house, pry the book off of him, then go to the witch's graveyard to read the book to seal the curse. And he's like, can we do something that's possibly not gonna get us killed?
Like, right, yeah, because he doesn't mind messing with ghosts, but he certainly doesn't want to mess with a dead body.
Right? But like, Neil kind of like, his grandma's like, oh, well, what's going on, sonny? And he's like, nah, you know, I just like, you know, Dad told me not to talk to you. And he's like, oh, your dad's a fucking dick. It's like her son, which is like the funnier part. But he talks to his grandma, and he's like, hey, Grandma, if you're like really scared to do something, like, would you not do it? And he's like, it's fine to be scared, but it's not fine for that fear to like change how you live your life.
Yeah.
And like, she watches Neil kind of like struggle to get over the fence when there was a door right next to it. It's so funny. The pudgy kids are always funny. I was a pudgy kid. But no, like, the grandma gives him a pep talk, and he's like, yeah, you should, you know, do it.
Yeah.
You know, and like, you know, I think you'll regret it more if you don't do it just because you're scared. So like, yeah, he kind of bursts out of there, sneaks out. Courtney's like, hey, you better not be sneaking out. But she's like on her phone, and, you know, she's like doing like a pedicure on herself. And so when Norman's going on the way to his uncle's house, Alvin is like breakdancing in front of two girls. Very much peacocking right now, like a bird, you know. Kind of messes up his dance, makes him fall and stuff. So you know Alvin's gonna do something about that. And
oh, definitely. Yeah, but he's the bully, so yeah.
He's like, oh, you messed me up in front of my girls.
Can't let that slide.
And so, yeah, when Norman gets to his uncle's house, he finds his uncle's dead body, and this kid is strong. You know, because he's like really trying to get the book out of his dead rigor mortis hands. Uncle is like big, and he's like a little bit fat. But he's like kind of tossing his body around. Until he finally gets the book. And so he like goes into the backyard, which is a cemetery.
Right, because he's supposed to go to the witch's grave to read the...
Yeah. And then Norman, you know, he finds like, oh, here lies the victims of the witch. And he starts to read the book, but it's like, once upon a time, a princess. And he's like, what the hell? Did I get the right book? But then the bully Alvin comes from behind him, snatches the book, and he's like, oh yes, more ammo for the freak. But the sun is going down, and Norman needed to read this book before the sunset.
Yep.
And then boom, this is where shit hits the fan. What's it called? Meanwhile, Courtney goes over to Neil's house because she's like, I know that fat kid is his only friend right now. And so she's like, Neil, I know you're in there. And Neil's like, not getting the door because he's like too busy snacking. And Mitch is like, oh my God, fine. Opens it up, half
Shirtless.
naked.
Yeah.
Yeah, just got out of the shower, and Courtney is
Right.
smitten.
And he's totally like he's the built kind of dumb like
Yeah.
stereotypical
Jock.
quarterback jock. Yeah.
Yeah. So like he's like Courtney's like super like horny for this guy. But Neil's like, I think Norman went to his uncle's house to get a book and then go to the graveyard to to read at the witch's grave, and she's like, oh my God, fucking freak. And so that's happening. Meanwhile, back to Norman and Alvin, the witch brews up a storm, throws down some lightning on some graves, and zombies pop out.
Yo.
And for a second, Norman like kind of is understanding what he's saying because he's like, "Stop!" But you know, you see fucking zombies come out, and you're like a 9, 10-year-old kid, you're gonna fucking run away.
Right. And obviously, I mean, he was watching zombie movies to start the this off with, so
Yeah,
so he knows the protocol. You run, you don't get
but
bit.
it's funnier because Alvin is way more terrified than Norman is. But they go back to the house and they almost get cornered there by the zombies. And so like when Mitch, Courtney, and Neil are coming over, they run into Alvin and Norman, and they accidentally hit one of the zombies. And Mitch, I mean, if you're Mitch, you're like, oh fuck, I know what you did last summer, somebody. And he holds this guy by the head. He's like, oh, he's still breathing, thank God. But then the head comes off.
The body falls off.
He's like, oh my God. And Courtney's like obviously freaked out. She's like, what did you do, you little freak? Did you do some summoning shit? But they're able to get away. And like they kind of like they're racing into town. The zombies see where they're going, so they start heading over there too. But they accidentally, they're speeding and they hit one of the lady cops that's out on patrol. And so, pretty good chase scene right here, but like a little unrealistic because this lady cop is on a motorcycle and she's like ramming a van.
Right. Well, because she's also got a butt, so she's booty bumping the van.
Booty bumping this van. Oh, that. Meanwhile, like Norman's parents are coming back into town. But no, like, yeah, they're trying to get away from the zombie, but then they what is it called when you roll over your car? Like in an accident. I don't know. Well, yeah, he's rolling over. Yeah, they get into a little bit of an accident, and it's funny because the car ends up at an auto shop. And Mitch is looking at like Courtney, and Courtney is looking at Mitch, and he's like, oh, I'm so sorry, baby. And then Courtney kind of gets excited, but he's like talking to his van.
Yeah.
She should have known. She should have known this guy would
no matter
be
what happens, I'll take care of you. It's you and me forever.
And then the van just falls apart. He's like, oh. And like, well, during the chase, they're like, I don't know how to stop the witch because I don't think that was her grave, but I don't know where they would have buried her. So they call the girl that Neil kind of hangs around with, and this is like a genius little girl. She's like has an IQ of 196. And so like she tells Norman, "Oh, wow, do you not pay attention? We learned this in 5th grade, Norman. They wouldn't have buried her in a cemetery because she was a witch. She would be in an unmarked grave."
Yeah, she would be excommunicated from the church. So
excommunicado.
She doesn't get buried in the graveyard.
And he's like, well, where do I get her? And he's like, ugh. How about you go to the town hall? Then you can get some documents, hopefully finding out where they buried her, stupid. And so, like, that's really their plan. But we go back to Norman's parents. During the chase, the van kind of passes them, and then the lady cop accidentally gets in an accident with them.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the other townsfolk run into the zombies, and probably the most active zombie response ever.
In a strangely realistic way, when you have an entire town of people and only like 5 zombies, those people are like, let's rise up and like pitchforks and
Well, also it's like a town that's like kind of steeped in the occult.
yeah.
So I feel like they've been waiting for this situation. So like huge chaos is happening here. Meanwhile, Norman and the group are going to the town hall. They're trying to find some documents. The zombies kind of slip away from the madness, and they're like, "Oh, we got to go into the town hall because I think they one of the pilgrims saw them go into the town hall, or maybe they're just trying to slip away, right?"
Is it the one? Is it the one with the avocado on her face?
No, that's the other lady that sees the zombies go into the town hall. Yeah. That's the acting the theater director.
Yeah.
But no, like Norman is kind of having a tough situation with his group because they're really not taking it seriously, trying to find out where the witch is buried. So him and Courtney kind of get into it because Courtney's like, let's just go. And he's like, no, we have to find out where the witch... I'm the only person that can stop the witch. And, you know, and she's like, oh, you're such a little weirdo. And he's like, oh, you always do this. You never listen to me. You just fucking write me off. And they have, like, a pretty big falling out. Meanwhile, the townsfolk is already in front of the town hall throwing, like, they're just, burn the fucking town hall. And then this is where Norman kind of like he goes back in time again. He has like a little genjutsu moment where he's like he thinks he's the witch being put on trial because he's surrounded by what looks like to be the zombies.
Right, yeah.
And then you find out that the witch is just a little girl who he's actually related to.
Yeah.
And you find out that
she sees dead people.
Yeah.
And the town doesn't know how to respond to it, so they think that she's cursed and that like she's going to bring evil. Yeah, so
and so like we see that and we have the revelation, like, you know, we see it and then we see her say like, I'm not a witch, but I'll fucking make sure I'm gonna take you fuckers down with me. And it kind of ends with him being surrounded by the zombies, and he looks at them. He's like, she was just a little girl. And this is where we find out that the zombies are actually like have intelligence, because they're like, please stop the curse. And he's like, you know, like he kind of just tells Norman like, hey, you know, like, we thought we did what we thought was right for the time. We didn't know what. We were just fucking scared of her.
Right.
And, you know, I mean, yeah, gosh, the what's it called? The rampant killing of women in pre-colonial American history is, yeah, it's well documented that these women just like knew math.
They could read.
They could do science. But like, you know, Norman kind of like, first Norman's like mad because he understands how it is to be her.
Yeah.
But like he, you know, like the zombie mayor kind of like appeals to him, and you know, they show a ton of remorse. You know, because after they died, they knew that she wasn't a witch, but they had put themselves in this purgatory that they're in.
Yeah.
And so Norman comes out and he has the zombies and the crowd is, you know, mobbing. And, you know, Colby, what's more terrifying than 5 zombies? A teenage girl. Because Courtney's like, stop it! You are all adults trying to kill my little brother.
Because he tries to explain, and they're basically like, hey, freak, we're not even going to listen to you.
Yeah.
Let's kill that kid too.
Yeah, he probably summoned them.
Yeah.
She's like, stop it. You're all adults. Now you're going to listen to what my brother said. And he's like, hey, like, listen, like, this whole situation is all messed up. These zombies accidentally killed these zombies killed a girl because they were really scared of them, and I understand that you guys are scared of the zombies right now, but I can fix this, and I can put everything right back together. This isn't my fault. This is this is the town's fault. This is the curse that's on the town, and so like let me fix this. And like one little kid has like a zombie arm with him, and he gives it back to the zombie, and he pops it back in. And so the mayor zombie gets in the car with Norman's family, but like they can't really understand him because he's dead.
Right, yeah.
All they hear is
zombie speak.
And Courtney is like, I know you just said something about me. Mom, tell the zombie to stop talking about me. I can't even understand it. But the zombie's kind of pointing the way to the witch's grave. And, like a really cool little sequence. You get to see a little bit more of the town and how, like, destroyed it is because everybody's freaking out. But when they get to the witch's, like, grave, it cuts off Norman from his family.
Yeah.
And this is like a superb fucking scene because when Norman gets there, the witch is there and she's all electrified.
Right. Oh yeah, like
really,
super.
Yeah, really great like claymation. It is amazing. I can't even imagine the amount of work that went into this because I was like, I don't even know how you claymate freaking lightning. But Norman is like, yeah, he's having this not battle, but like kind of conversation with this witch, who we get to know is, I think her name is Agatha. Yeah, or is it Agatha? I know it's an A name. It's like one of them old names.
Aggie.
Well, probably Agatha, right?
Yeah.
For the oldie times. And he's like trying to tell the story. He's like, once upon a time there was a girl who was persecuted.
We kind of like went over, but the even though it seemed like he was going to read a children's story,
yeah,
the pilgrims were like, hey, to keep the curse, if we can keep her asleep, so every time she tries to wake up, like every Halloween when she starts to wake up, if we can lull her back to sleep, then it's another year that the curse won't.
Yeah, but then Norman, he's like, I think I know how to way to end it.
Right, yeah.
Right, because he understands it, Aggie. So, like, yeah, he's, like, telling the story, but it's not the same story. It's her story.
Right.
And she's like, stop it. And, like, a huge kind of, like, wicked battle goes on. He's, like, jumping on rocks, like, floating in the middle of the air, and they're kind of having this conversation until... what's it called? He's like really reaching her, and she tries to leave, and then Norman kind of jumps off and then grabs her hand.
Right. It's one of those things where like she's so mad and so been fighting for so long she almost forgot why she was fighting. It's just she just knows she's supposed to.
Yeah, she just knows she's mad.
Yeah.
But then we all of a sudden get transported back to like her time.
Yeah.
And, she looks at Norman and she's like, where am I? And he's like, this is probably like a place that's important to you. And she looks at the tree, which I presume is the tree that she also got buried at.
Yeah.
And like Norman's like, I get it. I understand how lonely it could be, but there had to have been one person who was with you. And he's like, well, me and my mom would always be underneath this tree after her dad had died or something. She had taken care of me here, and it was really peaceful here and all that stuff. And Norman, Norman's also talking to himself because there's so many parallels between the both of them.
Right. I'm like, I mean, he even kind of mentions that. He's like, we're so similar. And she's like, but I'm dead and you're not. And he's like, oh, well, I mean, except for that.
But she's also like, "You're a boy." But yeah, no, like, they have this really like nice conversation. Like it's a really, it's a good conversation for both of them to have for each other. And Aggie's like, "How does that story that you were telling, how does it end?" And he's like, "Well, that's kind of up to you. Like, cuz your mom, I'm sure your mom's waiting for you."
Right. Yeah.
And I think Aggie kind of like, after like Norman had appealed to her and kind of like, yeah, they have both shared the same experiences. I don't think he ever told her that we're related.
Right. Yeah. They never really say. You kind of have to
Assume that she knows.
You can follow the dotted lines to know that they are, but
Yeah.
it doesn't ever in the movie say that they are.
Well, because her last name is Pendergrass, which is his uncle's name.
Right. Okay.
But I don't think he ever said it to her, because I think he introduces himself as Norman Babcock.
Yeah.
Or maybe he did. I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, but my mom's side, maybe. I'll probably rewatch this again later. Oh, actually, I'm probably gonna rewatch it on Sunday because it's playing in a theater.
Ooh.
So, but no, yeah, and so like, I think she finally, like decides after her and Norman talk, like, to let go of her anger. And like, because Norman tells them like they're really sorry.
Right.
They were just scared. Everybody gets scared. And like they kind of let their fear, kind of like just mirrors his grandma's words.
Yeah.
And so like they sit on the big, the big bark of the tree. She like lays her head on his shoulders, and then she starts to go into the light.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, all of the zombies kind of like go into the light.
Right, and that's a very cool scene also too, where they're like the zombie part kind of fades or falls into a ghost, and then the ghost can then move on.
In my head, I was like, I feel like all the meat just like fell off, and it's just like a goop of meat.
That's a terrible but accurate way to look at it.
But yeah, so like Norman comes out of the woods. His mom is like hugging him. Courtney's like, "Good job." They go back into town. Courtney finds out that Mitch is actually gay. And she's like, "What?" But you're so ripped. Norman goes to Neil, and he's like, "Hey man, like, thanks for like being there." And he's like, "Yeah man, no problem." He's kind of like he's like, Neil is just like this super chill kid. And he's just kind of just trying to, I mean, he's probably tried to be friends with other people.
Right.
But, sometimes like when you're overly positive, like it can kind of rub people the wrong way. So it's kind of like a dog and a cat are friends now.
And then Alvin at the same time is the bully. He's all like, yeah, me and Norman, we've been besties forever. I helped them. Yeah. You wouldn't be able to beat the zombies without me.
Alvin also groped Courtney's butt earlier in the movie. And he's
that's right, because a couple times
he's super smitten.
Yeah.
With Courtney. Oh man. And and then life. Oh, what's it called? I don't remember if it ends right there with them kind of just like reconciling, but yeah, like everyone kind of just like, it's like a chill, right? I forgot how this movie ends. That's how it ended in my head, but maybe there's a little bit more.
Yeah, no, it kind of ends like that. Yeah.
Yeah. And there's no like little post-credit scenes.
So
what is there?
It's not really, but at the end of the credits, they show you how they make Norman, and then they have him like stand up and like walk off.
Right.
Kind of like where they show like they build the little wire body, and then they cover it in like plastic, and then they like 3D print a head, and then like for like his different expressions and stuff, and then they have him like stand up and like kind of walk off.
Millions of frames.
Yeah,
It had to be, at least be in the million. You know what I mean? Oh man. But yeah, before we get to our thoughts about the movie, let's go to our other section, high star, low star.
So there was quite a few 10 out of 10s. A couple of them are like books, so I won't read you those. But we got a 10 out of 10. I found it wonderful with tons of humor. The movie gets 10 from me, considering I love these kind of films. I know a lot of folks feel this movie might not be geared towards children under 9. I'm far from a prune, but I wouldn't take a 5-year-old. But then again, I've watched children, and they are much smarter than we give them credit for. So judge yourself. There were kids in the theater that appeared to be in the 5 to 7 range, and they knew when to laugh, and they really enjoyed themselves. So again, if it's just you, you will love it. If you have kids under 9, it would have to be on you to decide. But I hardly think this is a movie that'll turn your kid into a thug or a devil spawn. It's a great movie, and I really enjoyed it.
I know, and then most of the 1 out of 10s were outraged parents. Parents, be warned. This movie is not appropriate for kids under the 13 years of age. I took my 7 and 11-year-old and had to deal with explaining sex, adult stores, why a man can have a boyfriend. It was painful to expose my kids to different thematic scenes. This is the first PG-rated film I have had problems with. Never again will I assume it's okay to take them. I usually check in detail anything rated PG-13, but never PG. Very poor judgment on behalf of the agencies. My kids were not ready for this. The animation and storyline were okay. My view would be different if it had been rated PG-13. I would just not have attended nor exposed my kids to this movie. I was outraged at this film. It is truly sad to expose kids in this manner. My advice, avoid this film completely. Take them to a Disney movie, which do target kids in a proper manner.
It almost feels like my review was a response to your review.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know, like, we kind of grew up in the golden age of horror films being super. I mean, even Gremlins was kind of a gross out horror film.
Right, yeah.
And so, like, when I watched this, I was like, oh, this is actually, like, a really good, like, little intro to horror for kids.
Yeah, because this would have been kind of in that, like, R.L. Stine, Goosebumps kind of generation where those kind of shows were really...
I think she had, I don't know if this is a she or he, but I think they had, the most problematic thing for them was, like, Mitch being gay. I was like, it's like almost like a throwaway line. And, like, maybe there might have been adult stores in the very few scenes that's actually in the town. I don't really remember seeing like witches dildos or something like that.
Right, I don't like nothing like that popped out as
as like inappropriate for kids, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, Colby, what did you? What are the things that you liked about the film?
This is fantastic. I love to watch a movie that is like it's like a passion project. Like you didn't get people to do this much time and animation for something they weren't fully heartfelt on. Like, and it shines through. Like it's even if the story was bad or whatever, like I still like the amount of work. I appreciate it. But this, like, I thought this was a great story.
Yeah.
It wasn't for like 5-year-olds, but it was. The thing said, so 8, 9-year-old, 10-year-olds. I think this would be like a great intro to horror, kind of like to them. And it's a story that's deep enough that it's light enough that like they can appreciate it, but it's deep enough that all the parents are gonna appreciate it.
Yeah, because you know what, this movie, it like, you know, for the theme that it was, I don't think it wasn't ever really overly gory for any of the parts. Even the
Right.
zombies didn't look too
They
scary.
weren't they weren't bloody. They weren't. They ended up being that they were trying to catch him to help him break the curse. They weren't eating anybody.
Yeah.
I guess one zombie got shot, but that was a fun because
That was
crazy like
I think that was a, what's it called? I think that was a homage to Death Becomes Her.
Oh, totally, yeah.
Because like
but it was great because it's like he shoots him, and then like the police chief is like, "Hey, you can't just be going around shooting people. That's what cops are for." And takes the gun.
I was like, oh man, how did they know? Yeah, because like also like the scene goes from like the hole, and it sees like the lady who shot him. Yeah, I was like, oh, that has to be from Death Becomes Her, right?
Yeah,
a little bit of a zombie thing. Yeah, you know, and like there's like a lot of like really great comedic beats in there. Like no one's ever like, a kid is not gonna be like, oh, are police supposed to just shoot normal people? You know, I feel like that joke was more for the adults. I kind of miss like cartoon, like things that are like for kids but have a little bit of like adult humor in there,
right.
thrown in there, as long as it's not like obviously overly like inappropriate. It's like a kid's not gonna get this, but when they watch it later, they will.
I There was a whole like decade of great movies that were like that, and then there was just like one or two kids that got the joke too young, and then parents were up in an uproar, and then all of a sudden it was like, nope, it's either a kid cartoon or it's an adult cartoon, nothing in between.
Yeah, this yeah, parent, you know what I mean, and like especially now, like now it's like kids have so much access to information.
Right.
Jesus, if I was a 13, 14-year-old in this time, my right arm would be so strong. Oh gosh, like it's in my pocket. Just go and take a shower.
Yeah.
Oh man, but yeah, who's your favorite character in this?
I liked the bully. It was a great kind of redemption arc throughout the thing, but having McLovin's voice in that worked really well, because it was like, it to me, it was like he was the villain from Kick-Ass at the beginning.
Oh yeah,
and then he kind of like McLovined up by the end.
Oh man, yeah, I got a soft spot for the pudgy characters. You know, like I was the pudgy character, and he was like, yeah, he was fun. He wasn't overly like, you know, they didn't just make him like the comedic relief. He just had really good moments.
Right. Yep.
But it wasn't just him being funny. And I like the representation for Norman, who's like this outcast kid. Like he isn't like overly depressed, as like media tends to kind of like do that. I feel like they gave him like really light moments, or like moments of like what's it called, like, you know, when he was being scared, you know, he had people to talk to. And I think that's great to like show kids like you got, there's somebody there that's gonna be
right,
you know, there
and even like his sister went certainly out of her way to try to find him when he ran off.
Yeah. Well, you know, at first it was like, I don't want to get in trouble with my parents, but you know, like her coming through for him, you know, towards the mob was great.
Right. It's one of those all like the old like brother sister thing where it was like, I will beat the hell out of you, but nobody else can.
Yeah. It's like, I'm doing it out of love. I love you, and that's why I have to punch you in the chest. but he can't. No, nobody else can. Only me. I will be your greatest bully. But it's from love. I really wish, they gave Mitch like a couple of good lines too, because of like Neil is like, "What do we do?" He's like, "Why are you asking me?" He's like, "You're the oldest, not mentally." And for that to be like Casey Affleck was like hilarious to me. Oh man, but yeah, we're coming up to an hour, so I want to go ahead and thank you guys for joining us. Make sure to check all of our other holiday themed months with Halloween and Christmas. But we got a bunch of other things down there for you. We got something for you. Don't worry. But we do our reviews in 4 different sections. We got Stream It, DVD it, Blu-ray it, and the Ultimate Box Collection. Colby, where you at?
Oh, this is easy Blu-ray. If there's some fancy box, we could box this up.
Yeah,
come in a zombie head or a steel box with the book. Yeah.
Always got to be a book. Yeah. I think I'm probably in the same boat with you, just because they could really load it up with just like how the movie got made.
Right. Yeah, I forgot how much, like, I remember liking this movie, but I never revisited it. And as I was watching, I was like, there were so many jokes and so many things that were like popping out, and I was like, wow, this should be much more on my rotation for
Halloween.
For Halloween.
For Halloween parties and stuff like that. Come on, Kobe. Yeah, I think this would be like a super great like addition to like any horror collection. And I'm so mad that I'm like, I didn't watch this when it came out, but now I can this Sunday. Oh man, but yeah, thank you guys for joining us. I hope you guys have a happy Halloween. Make sure to tell us about your Halloween in all of our links down below.
Yeah, we got Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Threads, TikTok, YouTube. We're on everything. Just like and share. Yeah. Give us some suggestions and tell us your favorite Halloween.
Thanks, guys, for joining us. My name is Barry.
This is Colby.
And this is Who Watches This. If you guys want to check out the theme music, it is Lee Rosevere. It's called Arcade Montage. It's on our album Music Podcast 3, and the Bandcamp is down below.
Thank you.